Okay, Derbyites, we are here for another Forum Poster Slugfest where we gather some of the best and the brightest from the Gold Derby forums to dish the award races. And it's the best place to discuss the awards. You can go there and join the discussion yourself. So I'm joined here by Philip, who is Philip in the chat in the forums. I'm joined by Josh, that is Jakin09 in the forums, and I'm joined by Dylan, which is Canadian fan in the forums. So this is going to be a fun chat. And this week, the PGA, the Producers Guild nominations came out with their top 10 films, their nominees for the year. And Josh, you won out of everyone, out of thousands plus people predicting the PGAs. You came first. You were the best at predicting them. How did you approach your predictions for those awards?
Well, I tried to look at it from a producer's point of view as much as I could. Just which films seemed to turn the most profit, which led me to put Star Wars and Creed in my picture nominations, but those are the two I missed. Otherwise, did all right.
So yeah, the films that were nominated were Spotlight, Mad Max Fury Road, The Big Short, The Martian, Bridge of Spies, The Revenant, Straight Outta Compton, Brooklyn, Sicario, and Ex Machina. What was the biggest surprise for you there, Josh? Like what really stood out when those nominations came out?
Ex Machina and Sicario. Just did not expect those two to make it in. But I mean, I'm very happy that they're finally getting some love.
Dylan, what do you think about this PGA lineup and what it means for maybe the Oscar race?
It means a few things. First, it means that Star Wars is dead. So we talk about often that the Oscar race is a derby. Well, I mean, Star Wars has broken its leg, and I think it's time to shoot it now, because things like Star Trek, things like Skyfall, they made PGA. Why can't Star Wars, perhaps the biggest movie of all time? So that's just completely dead in the Best Picture race. Carol's struggling. I would have thought it would have been able to make this. It still has the Globes and perhaps BAFTA tomorrow, but it's kind of on shaky ground. And I'd say that this is really good for Alicia Vikander because Ex Machina, of all things, got into PGA, and she's leading the Critics Awards for Supporting Actress for that performance. So I think we have to strongly consider that maybe she gets dual nods on Oscar morning.
Yeah. What do you think, Philip? Weigh in on that.
No, I totally think that she's going to get moved up for lead for the Danish Girl, and she should. I haven't seen Ex Machina, so I can't say. I'm surprised it got in, especially over like Room, and especially Star Wars, especially when Straight Outta Compton gets in and Star Wars didn't. I'm not predicting Star Wars, but it is surprising.
Yeah, like this is interesting. Like I guess there's the two angles there. There's the Star Wars. Is Star Wars now dead on arrival come Oscar nominations morning? Josh, what do you think about that?
I'd say yes. Yeah.
You say yes. Okay. Yeah, it's very concerning that a group. So the producers that are the money people, they wouldn't include a film that did so well financially. I still think we've got a different voting system for the Oscars. They felt a lot of heat when they left out Dark Knight. I still think Star Wars has a little bit of hope still to surprise on Oscar morning. But Alicia, what do you think about that, Josh?
I still see her in the supporting category for the Danish Girl. Now, as far as Ex Machina, I would love to see Oscar Isaac pick up a nomination, but.
Yeah, well, like Alicia, it's such a tough position. We've seen in the Oscars the sort of confusion when you got actors competing for different films. Like we all know what happened with Kate Winslet with the Revolutionary Road, the Reader year, where they're campaigning for the Reader in supporting Revolutionary Road for lead. She breaks through on Oscar day in the lead race. That was a bit different because she was sort of front runners in both categories a bit, so she had a lot more attention on her that year than Alicia has this year. Part of me wonders if the Ex Machina support is more passionate than the Danish Girl support, and in a preferential ballot which the Oscar voters use, that actually she could bump herself out of the race. Bump herself out of the Danish Girl, but in for Ex Machina. What do you think about that, Philip?
Well, and something I noticed in the commercials for the Danish Girl, they're touting the supporting actress nod for the SAG, and only briefly mentioning the Golden Globe nominations. Whereas something like Carol is actually mentioning the Golden Globe both lead actress nominations. So I think the Danish Girl could hurt itself because they're not just switching her up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her, if they decide not to move her up, to see her in for Ex Machina and not the Danish Girl. But she's brilliant in that one, so she should be nominated somewhere for it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go down the line and everyone say what you think Alicia's going to get nominated for, if anything, on Oscar morning. Could be 2 nominations, could be 1. If 1, what film, what category? Let's start with you. You kicked off this discussion, Dylan. What do you think?
I think she'll get in supporting for Ex Machina, just because the PGA. Like, I would have thought the Danish Girl would be much more of a kind of a plain PGA choice. But since they went for this small indie film, I think the performance has a ton of passion. Also, the lead confusion at the Golden Globes with the Danish Girl could probably hurt her. So I think she'll have more votes in supporting for Ex Machina, but she'll probably have votes for the Danish Girl, just less so.
Yeah. What do you think? Josh?
I'm still going to go with her in the supporting for the Danish Girl.
And what do you think? Philip?
I think she gets them both. Lead for Danish Girl and supporting for Ex Machina.
Yeah. I'm starting to think Dylan might be onto something here. The supporting for Ex Machina and nothing else. There is the chance she splits votes in supporting and doesn't get in for either, though. If she doesn't get nominated on Oscar morning, I think we can all say it was because of the lack of clarity in lead supporting, which film to go supporting, and all that sort of stuff, I'd say. So anyway, Tom and Sasha had a podcast recently, which has got our forum posters all debating and arguing at the moment, and that is because one of our experts at Gold Derby, Sasha, believes that the Big Short is now the front runner to win Best Picture. It's something that we've kicked around in these slugfests a couple of times already. What do you think, Dylan? Can the Big Short win? Will the Big Short win? Is Spotlight out of it?
The Big Short is definitely the #1 movie right now. It's definitely the front runner. So for so long, we've heard the media trump up that Spotlight was going to win Best Picture, and we heard that it was an actor's movie, and then Mark Ruffalo and Michael Keaton got snubbed at SAG, and then we heard it was an editor's movie, and then it got snubbed at ACE. This movie is just weak everywhere. I predict that McCarthy's going to miss DGA next week. He's not going to land an Oscar nom. No director is walking out of Spotlight thinking, what an achievement. Everyone watches that movie and just sees Thomas McCarthy place the camera down and let his actors bounce off each other for 2 hours. There's nothing special about this movie, and I think Adam McKay, with his vibrant direction of The Big Short, is going to lead it to victory.
Yeah. What do you think, Dylan? Oh, sorry, what do you think, Josh? Sorry. Good point, Dylan. What do you think, Josh?
I think it's definitely going to win for editing. There's a possibility of it winning Best Picture, but I have a hard time seeing the Academy give it to a picture directed by the guy that did Anchorman or Step Brothers.
But it's produced by Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but also have Thomas McCarthy, who directed The Cobbler with Adam Sandler this year.
That's true, but he did When The Visitor. He's a lot more credibility compared to the head writer of SNL.
True. I don't think The Big Short's going to win editing. As much as I hate to say it, I think Mad Max is going to win editing. But I think Thomas McCarthy is in for director. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's definitely in.
It's interesting. Like, I could see the Mad Max going a bit of a mini sweep of sort of sound editing, sound mixing, editing that we saw with like one of the Bourne films a couple of years ago, and I could even see George Miller taking out director. I'm not really saying I think Mad Max is a Best Picture contender, but well, it probably is a contender, but I'm not saying that it'll win Best Picture, but I think it looks pretty strong in some of those categories, the technical side of things, and I include directing in that with technical.
It's gonna be the Gravity of this year.
Yeah, it could very well be the Gravity of this year. Probably won't win 8, but I think yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's really interesting. Here's some of the comments that some of the people say in the forum about it. Pat MCB says The Big Short is about a bunch of rich white men. Need I say more? The male voting bloc of the Academy is going to eat this up. So this is a good point. Although replying to him, Kavothi Snow says, and I may pronounce that wrong. Sorry, Mr. Snow. Demographic of the Academy equals rickety old white men. Old white men equals Spielberg, Miller, and Scott versus Big Short's McKay. And I think is that the weakness in the Big Short armor is the director. Does not seem like a strong directing contender. Dylan?
I think so. As far as winning, I have George Miller winning director, but I think Adam McKay is safe for a nomination. Like, I think he's certainly getting in before Tom McCarthy.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so, does anyone disagree with that?
I would put Tom McCarthy.
I think, yeah, he's getting in. Tom McCarthy's getting in.
Yeah. Why is Tom McCarthy getting in, Philip? Why?
I think he gets in, number one, because Spotlight is still assumed to be the front runner, even as we're discussing, because I think it just is. I don't think The Big Short needs to win the Globe and win SAG for us to consider it the leader. Yeah. And I think the fact that I think that McCarthy's going to get in, I think it's going to be Scott, McCarthy, Miller, Inarritu, and probably McKay.
Yeah.
I don't think Haynes gets in.
Yeah. But like, Argo was the front runner. Ben Affleck didn't get in for Best Director. Like, it's not like we haven't seen a front runner for Best Picture miss out on the Best Director, especially when that, like, an Affleck, you could have argued, was a stronger directorial contender.
True. I think Ben Affleck was more backlash of him getting in and directing Oscar.
Yeah.
That's why I would argue against McKay, because I feel like with Affleck it's a credibility issue.
Well, the thing is that I think it's been years since someone who missed Ace got into DGA. Like, it's been like 5 or 6 years. So you guys are expecting the director of a movie that couldn't even become one of the top 5 edited dramas to get in at the Directors Guild.
Well,
like, Birdman got in at Ace. It did not get in at the Oscars.
Right.
Yeah, and that was a bigger record that it broke.
I don't think you're going to see it break again, the Ace record to DGA. Tom McCarthy is getting snubbed, guys.
Okay.
No,
this is interesting. Yeah, go.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's getting snubbed. I don't think if anybody's going to get snubbed, it's probably going to be maybe Ridley Scott, or I could actually see George Miller getting snubbed.
Right. No.
What? Like, now, Dylan's introduced that Spotlight did not get the Editing Guild nomination the past week. A real weakness for a Best Picture frontrunner, let alone contender. How do we think that impacts the race, Josh?
I think he's right, and it definitely weakens Spotlight's position as the frontrunner. I don't really know what to make of that. That stunned me.
Yeah. Okay, Dylan, if McKay doesn't get a directing nomination, which I think is I think I could see him getting snubbed by the directors branch of the Academy, can The Big Short still win Best Picture?
If McKay is snubbed and McCarthy's in?
Yeah, let's say that's the case.
Okay, then Spotlight wins.
Okay. If both of them are snubbed,
Okay, if both of them are snubbed, uh,
does
maybe
something
like
else win?
maybe The Revenant or Brooklyn. Like
Okay.
if Brooklyn wins BAFTA, yeah. But it's really Spotlight and The Big Short, I think.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Philip, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts? Can The Big Short win without a director nomination?
It depends. It really just depends. I don't think that you don't have the support of the directors. It really depends. Like if Steve Carell gets in, it actually breaks through and gets in, and you have Christian Bale in the writing and editing. Yeah, I could see The Big Short winning, but I think if he misses out and McCarthy gets in, I still think, and Spotlight gets in for editing, I think Spotlight's still the front runner.
Mhm. Okay. Josh, does Spotlight or The Big Short need a director nomination to win Best Picture this year?
I think Spotlight absolutely does. I think there might be enough passion behind The Big Short for it to get by without it.
Okay. What do we think? Now the Globes this weekend, the Golden Globe Awards, big awards. What do we think? What are we looking for at the Golden Globes? What are we most? We'll go down the line. What is everyone most excited about to see in the Golden Globes this weekend? And we'll start with Philip.
I'm really excited to see Brie Larson win Best Actress.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love her. I loved her since she was on United States of Terror. So it's going to be great, and she's fantastic in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Josh?
I want to see DiCaprio take it. It's time.
Yeah.
Not that he hasn't won a Globe before, but...
Yeah.
Dylan?
Probably two things. I want Julie Louis-Dreyfus to finally win a Globe for Veep. And then also, I'm really curious on how the director's race go. Like, do they buy into this Miller, maybe Ridley Scott, maybe Iñárritu, because he's never won directing there. So I'm really curious to see how that goes as well.
Yeah. What do we think could be the biggest sort of game changer at the Globes this weekend, Dylan?
I think if Spotlight loses, like if it loses screenplay or if it loses picture, it's done. Because I think The Big Short has comedy locked up.
Yeah. What do you think, Josh?
I think if Big Short can pull off comedy, then that definitely gives it another leg up over The Martian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that going to be tough for Ridley Scott's director chances if The Martian doesn't win Best Comedy at the Globes?
As far as winning?
Yeah.
I don't see Ridley Scott winning, period. I just don't think it's got the love behind it.
Yeah. I'm very skeptical of the Ridley Scott front runner argument. What do you think? What do you think, Philip?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him actually winning. I thought The Martian was a fine movie. Like, I can see it getting nominated for Best Picture. It's probably fine in there. But I don't even think he's in the top 3 of the people that are nominated at the Globes. I would rank him 4th personally.
So who do you think's going to take it out?
I honestly think it's going to be George Miller. I honestly think he's just going to start steamrolling all these director awards. Even though I hated Mad Max, but I feel like he's just going to steamroll through it.
Yeah, I agree. I think George Miller is going to win that category. Who do you think's going to win it, Dylan?
I guess I'd probably say George Miller, but I'm really close to predicting Iñárritu as well, just because he's pretty much overdue there. Like, he won for Babel, and then the whole Birdman thing last year. He didn't win, but he won the Oscar, so I think he might be overdue in the directing category.
Yeah, but he's not overdue for a Globe. He won one last year. Like, I can understand if he didn't win at all. Like, they didn't win with Babel, and he didn't win the Screenplay Award last year. I could see them wanting to give him one. He already has one.
Yeah, that's why I have him second.
And that's why I also think that Leonardo DiCaprio can actually lose this race on Sunday. Because he has, 2 Globes already?
Who do you think would win if he lost?
I actually think it could be Bryan Cranston, as much as I don't want to say that.
Yeah. Does anyone else think DiCaprio could be weak in the lead actor race for the Globes? No. Why can't Josh Cranston upset him at the Golden Globes? DiCaprio already has 2 Globes. He doesn't have the overdue factor there like he has with the Oscars. Why do you shake your head at Philip's claim?
Just simply because of his star power. I think no matter what, if DiCaprio has a decent shot at it, they want to give it to him.
Yeah, but he lost for Django.
That's true, but I don't think anybody thought, oh, he deserves this for Django. I think people were just surprised that he even got nominated for Django.
Oh, I think people thought he was going to win for Django. He was going to win the whole thing. I don't know. There's this feeling that like the Globes, I could see him winning SAG, of course, but right. I have a feeling that the Globe could go to someone else, and I don't know. I can't decide if it's Fassbender or if it's Cranston or if Eddie Redmayne does a back-to-back win. I can't tell. I don't think Will Smith has a shot out of anybody. He's 5th. But I could just see them not giving it to DiCaprio because he has them already.
Right.
What do you think, Dylan?
Well, I mean, the Golden Globes awarded Cranston for Breaking Bad in the final season, so I don't think he's overdue either. If anyone upsets DiCaprio, which I don't think they will, it'd probably be Fassbender.
Yeah, I feel like, though, the thing in, like, a Cranston's corner rather than a Fassbender's corner is that neither Trumbo or Steve Jobs got in the Best Drama Film race, but you did see Helen Mirren sneak into the supporting race for Trumbo, showing that maybe there's a bit of support, more support than we would have thought amongst Globe voters for that movie. Whereas I think, really, Steve Jobs probably underperformed at the Globes.
Yeah, it's still got screenplay and score, though.
That is true. That is true.
And most people said it should get nothing.
Yeah. Does anyone? What about Brie Larson at the Globes this weekend? Is she a lock? Could she lose it? What do we think?
I think she's a lock only because of how much Room overperformed.
Yeah.
Getting the picture. I mean, yeah, Jacob missed, but I also think that's just because how many children has the Globes nominated?
Yeah. What do you think, Dylan?
I think Ronan could win, but I was absolutely shocked when Brooklyn was snubbed and Room got in, so I think that probably gives the edge to Larson. But I do think Ronan's going to win BAFTA, and then probably SAG, and then probably the Oscar.
Well, so you think Ronan's on the path to Oscar at the moment?
Yeah, I think she'll lose to Larson at the Globes, but I think she'll win everything else.
Well, what do you think about that, Josh?
I think it's a toss-up between Ronan and Larson. I give it pretty even.
Yeah. What do you think, Phil?
See, I don't think Larson loses the SAG because there's obviously more support because Jacob got in at SAG. It would be interesting Oscar nominations because I think Room's going to get in for picture. It's going to get in for her. I think Jake's going to get in. I just don't know if they're going to split category and put him in lead where he should be. But I could see if they put Rooney Mara and Alicia in lead actress, Joan Allen could slip in there. There could be a wide range of support for Room.
Yeah, I think Room's film support. I actually think the biggest threat to Brie Larson at the Oscars is Charlotte Rampling for 45 years.
I think she'll get snubbed.
You think she won't get nominated?
I don't think she'll get nominated.
I think it's been very well received, that film. I feel like the people who are watching it are loving her performance, and I feel like she'll get a lot of #1 votes.
I think it's too little too late, though. I think Kate Blanchett gets in, Larson, Ronan. That's already 3 slots pretty much locked up. I think and then Alicia gets in for the Danish Girl, so that leaves 1 slot. And like we were talking about earlier, I think it could possibly be Lawrence, even though everybody hates that idea, but I don't. I wouldn't mind it.
What do you think about Rampling's chances, Dylan?
I think she could get in for a nomination. Like, she has that kind of like Emmanuel Riva trajectory, so I think she might score a BAFTA nod. She might even win BAFTA, who knows, between her and Ronan. But I don't think she has a real shot at winning the Oscar. I do want to address Philip's point, though. I don't think Room is that strong in Best Picture. Like, it just missed PGA, whereas Brooklyn made PGA. So likely Brooklyn's going to make Best Picture, and likely Room is going to get snubbed. At that point,
Yeah, but that's
Brooklyn
the
has...
first time Brooklyn has shown up all season long in the Best Picture.
But it's literally...
Go ahead.
It's literally the only thing that matters, though. Like, the precursor that matters is PGA. Forget the Globes. And Room didn't show up there.
Yeah, but they also had some shocking... Like, do we really think Straight Outta Compton is going to get nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars?
I do. I think it will. Absolutely. It has SAG, and now it has PGA, and it also has Oscar voters scared of a backlash about them not nominating films that address like diverse like issues.
Oh.
So no one wants another Oscars so white controversy, and I think that's actually going to drive them to vote for it.
And it's got the WGA as well.
Yeah, but who was Hateful Eight was not eligible. There's other stuff that wasn't eligible for WGA.
Fair.
No, I can't see Brooklyn, like, how many nominations can Brooklyn actually is going to get? Maybe production design, maybe costume design. It's not going to, it might get into writing, but you're not going to get its director in. Ronan's going to be the only acting nomination. It's going to have like 5 nominations.
No, I think the director could get in.
Right, so you're saying Tom McCarthy's going to get snubbed, but the person that directed Brooklyn is going to get in.
I'm saying Thomas McCarthy is going to get snubbed, and the guy who directed Brooklyn may get in. Yes.
No. No way.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, weigh in.
Well, see, I would argue that since neither of you can call him by his name, he's not getting in.
Well, strong crowd.
I can't.
I like the director's branch is a funny branch sometimes. We go with Beasts of the Southern Wild over Argo, and like there are sometimes some real that can be the category where you see a real curveball in the Oscars race. I don't know. I think see Rampling, and I do get that she's not a lock for a nomination, but I could see if she gets in her having a late breaking momentum. Oh, I was about to sneeze.
You know what? If she gets in, that's great. As long as Charlize Theron doesn't get in, I'll be fine.
Wow. Not a Mad Max fan.
I'm just not. And everyone is like, she should win. It's like Sigourney Weaver. It's not. And I think there are better performances out there this season that deserve to be in over her.
Okay. I think this could be interesting. Philip. Can Mad Max win Best Picture at the Oscars this year?
No.
Why not?
I think it's going to be just like Gravity. I think there's going to be support for The Big Short and for Spotlight. I think one of the two of them are probably going to win, and I think Mad Max is going to win all the below the line stuff and probably director.
Yeah, could I just throw in there that I feel like Gravity came ridiculously close to winning Best Picture at the Oscars.
See, I don't think it did.
You don't think it did?
No, I think it's the same way why everyone thinks that Straight Outta Compton's going to get in. I think it was if they ignored it, the Academy was afraid of looking bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you've only got one other film that's won 8 Oscars and not one Best Picture. Like, I can't imagine that there weren't people voting for, like, a lot of people that didn't come close. What?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We'll never know. We'll never know.
Well, I mean, it came one vote away from winning PGA.
True.
So.
Yeah. Josh, can Mad Max win Best Picture? How high can that film go? Why not? Do you think it could win Best Director?
I think it has a great chance of winning Best Director. I think there's a chance it wins Best Director and doesn't even get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah. How can a film have a great chance of winning Best Director and not, like, you're not even really entertaining the idea of it winning Best Picture?
Because, like you said, the directing branch is a much more fickle group.
Okay. What do you think about that, Dylan?
It's probably like fourth or fifth in terms of winning Best Picture. Like probably The Revenant and Spotlight are ahead. But I mean, if something crazy happens in the director's branch, whereas Adam McKay and Tom McCarthy are both snubbed, then like maybe via some like voodoo magic, Mad Max wins. But I think Miller has a greater shot than the film. So.
Yeah. Okay. How would you feel, Philip, if Mad Max won Best Picture on Oscar night?
God, it'd be awful. It'd be terrible.
Oh.
Like, I'd vote for Joy over Mad Max if I could.
My Philip, the forum posters. Will we?
I know they're gonna hate me. It's cool. It's cool.
Their least favorite film of the year, Joy, versus their most favorite film of the year, Mad Max.
Yeah, no, I just can't. I can't see. Like, it doesn't feel like. I would think Star Wars could win Best Picture before Mad Max could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like if a voter is gonna look at something and say Mad Max, oh yes, I remember those films. I want to vote for this to win Best Picture. Whereas Star Wars has more prestige, I guess I would say, and I could see voters actually, if it gets nominated, I could actually see Star Wars winning. Not that it should, but I could see it winning over Mad Max. I don't know. No, absolutely not.
I can see Star Wars winning in the sense of I think there's a path to victory for the film. Like, I do think it does have there's something about Star Wars that no other films have going for them. So that's my one thing with why I think Star Wars could be in the yeah. But I'd say Mad Max has a path to victory too, where it's competitive in a lot of the below the line races, and it can rack up a very healthy amount of nominations, a very healthy amount of wins on Oscar night in key categories, and it's a good contender for the director race as well. So I could see both of those films having a path to victory, although I wouldn't be predicting either of them at the moment. And I'd say Mad Max probably has a slightly better path, because I do see it winning more Oscars, and I do see it really in the Best Director race.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's switch over to TV now for a bit. And it was said, I think by Dylan, that he'd love to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus win for Veep. Finally, win a Globe for Veep. Finally. Josh, what do you think Julia Louis-Dreyfus's chances are of winning that category?
I think they're stellar. Personally, I like to see Amy Schumer win, but I do think it'll be Dreyfus.
Yeah. Let me get up the category here. What do you think, Philip?
I actually think that Lily Tomlin could win. I think that she's nominated in the film category. They're not going to give it to her for Grandma. She could win. Not saying she should. She shouldn't. But we also have Rachel Bloom and Jamie Lee Curtis in this category. That's just a waste anyway. So I could see Julia Louis-Dreyfus winning. Hopefully it's like a one and done. Like, just stop nominating her after this, please. Like, she doesn't need any more.
And just quickly to correct you, Josh, Amy Schumer is not nominated.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it.
She's nominated for film. She was nominated for the Emmy. It's very she's popping up everywhere these days.
Yeah, the Globes, I don't think they're in their rules. They can't nominate a variety series performer, right?
I think so. It's surprising to think she wouldn't have got nominated if she was eligible, just with her name and the way Globe voters vote and things. What do you think, Dylan?
I think she has it because I guess Amy Schumer is ineligible, right? So, like, thank God, so she can finally win the Globe. I don't think they should stop nominating her. I think she's the best comedic performer on TV. So I don't know. She's won four Emmys. I think she should win 4 more if she's just as good. So long live Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I'm a big Veep fan. It's probably no surprise to the Gold Derby community. But and this is probably my craziest prediction. I'm thinking we're going to see Jamie Lee Curtis win the Scream Queen.
Wow.
I can just see Glover, they love Jamie. They love them some Jamie Lee Curtis. I feel she's sort of a movie person. She's very respected.
Well, and the fact they put her in lead, which was ridiculous in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. That's perhaps why. Why am I insane, Josh?
What channel is Scream Queens on?
It's on Fox.
All right. And it's by the Glee producers, correct?
It's by Ryan Murphy.
I just don't see that kind of show winning.
They love Glee. The Globators love Glee.
That's true, but it's a horror show.
Oh, they love a bit of horror. No, I don't know. I don't know if they love a bit of horror, but I don't know. What about Rachel Bloom winning for Craziest Girl? When I predict Globe TV races, I look for who is new, who is in their first season, who is fresh, like fresh off the boat, not on the show, fresh off the boat, but they don't get nominated. But who's new in the race? And I just go, hey, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's pretty respected, or Rachel Bloom, she'd be a left field choice, I don't know. Then there's Lily Tomlin, who got nominated in the film category. She's probably... I just am skeptical that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is going to win after 4 seasons of her not winning.
I think they'll do the same. I think they'll do the same thing that they did with Bryan Cranston. He was nominated, I think, once or twice for Breaking Bad, right? And then he didn't win to the last one.
Yeah. I also think Bryan Cranston's a bit of an exception to the rule. To be honest, I really feel like with Brian, there was just so much momentum and support for that final season of Breaking Bad. I'm not sure if they would have given it to him otherwise.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just so, the Globes did not like the show Breaking Bad. They went out of their way not to nominate Bryan Cranston some years. Aaron Paul was never a real player. They didn't nominate a drama series till pretty late in its run. They really were not fans of that show. And the final season, it won everything, Breaking Bad. And I feel like they felt like they had to. That's just my view on how the Globes were Breaking Bad. I don't think with Veep you're ever going to have that sort of, oh my gosh, Globe voters, you have to give it to Veep.
But I think they nominated it for the first time this year, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it shows some increasing support.
Yes,
or they just voted to follow the Emmys that just voted it for Best Comedy Series.
Yeah. There is increased support for it.
It's kind of like the same thing that happened with Game of Thrones. That was gone for a little while, wasn't it?
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it missed last year.
Yeah. But anyway, so I don't know. We'll see. I think Julie's got. Don't get me wrong. I think Julie's got a real shot at winning this. This is one of the best. It's in Best Comedy Series finally. There's some support, more support for the show. I would not be surprised she won. I'm just saying, look out, and I might change my Jamie Lee Curtis prediction because I am starting to think, oh boy, that is quite a ledge. But don't be surprised if one of these just left field people pops up. Maybe not in this category, maybe one of the other categories for TV. Because
I already know which one it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be Gaga.
Gaga. She could win. She's in my second slot for winning that category.
I think she's going to win it, not because she deserves to, but because it's the Golden Globes, and stranger things have happened.
But another Ryan Murphy horror actress. Another Ryan Murphy horror performance. Maybe this could be the year that they're embraced by the Globe voters. We'll see. We'll see. Let's wrap up now by talking about what's the biggest upset we're predicting at the Golden Globes this week, film or TV.
Oh, jeez. Huh.
I guess it's not a huge upset now. I think she actually pulled into the lead, but I think Amy Schumer is going to beat Jennifer Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that going to hurt Jennifer Lawrence? Do you think in the Oscar race, if she even loses that, there'll be even less of a sort of need to tick her off?
Well, when are ballots due? Aren't they due before Sunday?
Oh, if that's the case, then won't have an impact. Probably. They probably are June before Sunday.
I think Jennifer Jason Leigh is not going to win Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, I don't think she is either. Let me see who I'm predicting. I'm predicting Helen Mirren for Trumbo. That's probably my biggest upset that I'm predicting.
I actually think I would like to see Kate Winslet win it, but no one agrees with me. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting because no one nominated in that supporting actress race has been from a film that's been nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know which of those films the voters enjoyed more.
Well, you would think if you're going based on like the overall support, you would think Kate Winslet would be she's the one. Her film has 4 nominations.
Screenplay, yeah, score, things like that, yeah, very possible. I'm wondering if Alicia wins this.
It's like a makeup.
Yeah, she's got 2 nominations.
Yeah, I think she certainly does.
She certainly wins?
Yeah.
Yeah. I might change my prediction to her, actually.
Be interesting.
Yeah, and she'll be good up on stage, won't she? Don't you think that'll be a good moment?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this could be interesting. This could be very interesting. And it'll be interesting. She then wins for Ex Machina at the Globes. Then she gets nominated for Danish Girl at the Oscars or something. It's could be quite helpful in with her multiple nominations and probably being a bit. I think people are going to be aware she was in the Danish Girl this year, regardless of what she gets nominated for. So she enters that Oscar race in the supporting race. She'll have quite a good case. People will know she gave 2 good performances this year.
So basically, it doesn't matter what film she gets in for. It's just her.
Yeah. I even think Ex Machina could be better, because I feel like people are going to be much more aware she was in the Danish Girl. Like, people aren't aren't going to forget that she was in the Danish Girl. Like, that film was pretty much on people's radar for a bit. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Josh, and you said what your biggest upset was for?
Right now, I think I have John Hamm for a drama actor.
Okay.
Oh, that's not an upset.
No, it's not. But he's not in first.
Who's in first right now in that race?
The guy from Mr. Robot.
Oh, yeah, I'm predicting him.
Yeah, I don't think John Hamm would be like a complete upset. It wouldn't be surprising to me for them to see the Globes go, oh, we like you, okay.
Right.
I think it's just between the 2 of them. I don't think anybody else in that category has a shot.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably fair. What do you think, Philip? What's your biggest upset for Globes Day?
Oh, that Jennifer Jason Leigh doesn't win supporting actress.
Oh, yes, you said that.
Yeah.
And who are you predicting for that again?
I could see Alicia winning. I'd really like to see Kate Winslet win because I think she gave a great performance.
Yeah, Winslet. And Dylan, did we go for your biggest upset?
Yeah, I think I said Alicia Vikander. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Boy, guys, this is a fun chat. This is a really fun chat. Really good chatting the Globes, chatting the Oscars, chatting the PGAs, a bit of TV in the mix. And anyone watching this, you can join the chats with all of us in the Gold Derby forums. Dylan is Canadian fan in the forums, so you can take him to task about why The Big Short isn't going to win Best Picture. Oh, we've lost Dylan on that. He's out. I think Philip is Philip in the forums. You can tell him why Mad Max is the greatest film of all time in the forums.
Oh, no.
Yes, and Josh is Jaken09, and you can tell him why Star Wars is going to get a Best Picture nomination this year, even though it missed out on the PGAs. And I'm Matt Noble in the forums. You can tell me why I'm wrong about everything else. So, yeah, it's really good. Thanks for watching, guys.